Hi everyone, Comic Reviewer here, this time reviewing on the Disney Channel original movie, Johnny Tsunami. Now, pretty much after going on Disney Plus to kind of watch Johnny Tsunami, and after last year watching Nostalgia Critics review on Disneycember on Johnny Tsunami, I pretty much wanted to give this film a go. And the premise of the film is meant to follow Johnny, who is a young boy living in Hawaii, where he is the skilled surfer, and we kind of see how his parents decide to move to Vermont, and we kind of see how Johnny's kind of torn apart, being separated from his grandfather, who is this legendary surfer. I would say with Johnny's father, you can kind of tell wants to believe he's doing the right things, and doesn't want to see his son end up like his granddad. But I think the difference between the dad and the grandfather is, you can tell the granddad doesn't really force his views onto Johnny, but knows he needs to kind of see and realise things his own way. And I kind of think Pete does try his best, but kind of forces it a bit too much. And you can tell the mum does try to play the supporting role in the family. We kind of see how Johnny is in his prep school, and we kind of see how he learns that there are two areas divided. One for skiers, which are basically the prep school, and one for basically snowboarding, which is mostly for, like, normal school kids. And we kind of see how Johnny does try to bring the two sides together to little to no avail. And I kind of think the film has a bit of a message about going into a different environment, getting to know your place, as well as trying to fix two sides of the same territory. We do kind of see how Johnny over time learns to kind of master snowboarding, and I kind of think the point of the principal is kind of meant to be a counterpart to Pete. I think the point of the principal is just meant to believe that he's the good guy, and believes that his school is the best, and doesn't really see or realise his own mistakes. Well, Pete, on the other hand, who's meant to be Johnny's father, does kind of question if he is doing the right things. And I kind of think, yeah, what kind of makes Gary Tucker definitely the best role for the granddad is that you can tell he knows deep down that people need to kind of see and realise their own mistakes, and kind of doesn't really force his views on anyone. He knows deep down that Johnny is going to find his own place in life. And I kind of think what's interesting is, you do have Kristen Storms, who played Bonnie and Kim Possible for Emily. I think the difference between her and her father, who's the principal, is you can tell she does kind of see that Johnny's not a bad kid. I think it's heavily implied that her father doesn't really like Johnny as much, and kind of sees him as this kind of, like, bad influence. And I think what's interesting is, I think having the locations take place in Utah and Hawaii does show you a change of scenery. With basically the more snowy area, you can tell it's just Johnny trying to get used to his new and kind of different environment. And I think the point of Hawaii is more of his cultural background and roots. And I kind of think, yeah, the last few scenes do come off a bit quick, and when you do have the two owners from the different sides, it doesn't really feel like it's wrapped up too perfectly. Like, yeah, you could have had the two, Johnny and his friends, try to figure out who these two owners are, and try to learn more about it. I think, to me at least, the film Johnny Tsunami isn't that bad. Again, I think some of the characters do work. Like, when you have Fuji Okumoto, who played Chozen in The Karate Kid, you can tell he really does try to play this dad who believes he's the good guy, and does want to do the right thing. And I think with Gary Tucker playing the granddad, you can tell he knows deep down that people need to follow their own path. And I think it's interesting to see Chozen and Shang Tsung being son and dad in this one. I think, to me, Johnny Tsunami isn't a bad movie. I think if you're a fan of snowboarding or want to see another slice of life Disney Channel original movie, this is definitely your film. So I think it still deserves a thumbs in the middle. Kind of alright, kind of okay, despite a few screw-ups. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.